Birds That Every Child Should Know by Neltje Blanchan. Preface. If all his lessons were as joyful as learning to know the birds in the fields and woods, there would be no whining schooly boy with his satchel and his shining morning face creeping like snail unwillingly to school. Long before his 9 o'clock headache appears, lessons have begun. Nature herself is the teacher who rouses him from his bed with an outburst of song under the window and sets his sleepy brain to wondering whether it was a robin's clear, ringing call that startled him from his dreams, the chipping sparrow's wiry tremolo, or the gushing little wren's tripping cadenza. Interest in the birds trains the ear quite unconsciously. A keen, intelligent listener is rare, even among grown-ups. But a child who is becoming acquainted with the birds about him hears every sound and puzzles out its meaning with a cleverness that amazes those with ears who hear not. He responds to the first alarm note from the nesting bluebirds in the orchard and dashes out of the house to chase away a prowling cat. He knows from afar the distress cause of a company of crows, and away he goes to be sure that their persecutor is a hawk. Faint tattoo in the woods sends him climbing up a tall, straight tree with the confident expression of finding a woodpecker's nest within the hole in its side. While training his ears, nature is also training every muscle in his body, setting him on long tramps across the field in pursuit of a new bird to be identified, making him run and jump fences and wade brooks and climb trees with the zest that produces an appetite like a sawmill's and deep sleep at the close of a happy day. When President Roosevelt was a boy, he was far from strong, and his anxious father and mother naturally encouraged every interest that he showed in out-of-door pleasures. Among these, perhaps the keenest that he had was in birds. He knew the haunts of every species within a wide radius of his home, and made a large collection of eggs and skins that he presented to the Smithsonian Museum when he could no longer endure the evidences of his youthful indiscretion, as he termed the collector's mania. But those bird hunts that had kept him happily employed in the open air all day long helped to make him strong, manly man he is, whose wonderful physical endurance is not the least factor of his greatness. No one abhors the killing of birds and the robbing of nests more than he. Few men, not specialists, know so much about bird life. Nature, the best teacher of us all, trains the child's eyes through study of the birds to quickness and precision, which are the first requisites for all intelligent observation in every field of knowledge. I know boys who can name a flock of ducks when they are mere specks twinkling in their rapid rush across the autumn sky, and girls who instantly recognize a goldfinch by its waving flights above the garden. The white band across the end of the kingbird's tail led to his identification the minute some sharp young eyes perceive it. At a considerable distance, a little girl I know distinguished a white-eyed from a red-eyed vireo, not by the color of the iris of either bird's eye, but by the yellowish-white bars on the white-eyed vireo's wings, which she had noticed at a glance. Another girl named the yellow-billed cuckoo, almost hidden among the shrubbery, by the white thumbnail spots on the quills of his outspread tail where it protruded for a second from a mass of leaves. A little urchin from the New York City slums was the first to point out to his teacher, who had lived 20 years on a farm, the faint reddish streaks on the breast of a yellow warbler in Central Park. Many there are who have eyes and see not. What does the study of birds do for the imagination? That high power possessed by humans alone, that lifts them upwards step by step into new realms of discovery and joy? The thought of a tiny hummingbird, a mere atom in the universe, migrating from New England to Central America will not stimulate a child's imagination. Then all the tales of fairies and giants and beautiful princesses and wicked witches will not cause his sluggish fancy to roam. Poetry and music, too, would fail to stir it out of the deadly commonplace. Interest in bird life exercises the sympathies. The child reflects something of the joy of the oriole, whose ecstasy of song from the elm on the lawn tells the whereabouts of a dangling cup of felt, with its deeply hidden treasures. He takes to heart the tragedy of a robin's mud-plastered nest in the apple tree that was washed apart by a storm, and experiences something akin to remorse when he takes a mother bird from the jaws of his pet cat. He listens for the return of the bluebirds to the starch box home he made for them on top of the grape arbor, and is strangely excited and happy that bleak day in March when they reappear. It is nature sympathy, the growth of the heart, not nature study, the training of the brain, that does most for us.